Hey, what's up? This is Frank Salas, internationally known as the talented Mr. Salas. I'm here with 23-year-old Josh Smith out of Sydney, Australia, and we are going to dissect one of his ads. We've actually gone really deep into his Facebook ad, and this is for a pizza company that he picked up cold through a Facebook message. So you guys had that training in a previous lesson. Right now, what we're doing is we ran this ad for about a week. We spent $35. We got some amazing results, but right now I want to do some analytics work. So we did go into the ad. We looked at a bunch of analytics separately, and we saw how the ad performed. But now I want to see how the actual physical post, the digital asset, performed. So Josh, go ahead and click on that little arrow right there, and that's going to send you a preview. And you're going to select on your desktop. It should ask you for send notification to Facebook.
Yep.
You click on that, and then on your gotcha. So go to click on it again. All right, perfect. So here's what we have. We have about 1,200 video views. We did reach about 3,400 people, and we only spent $35. Our cost for video view was 3 cents, and about 20% of the people that we showed this to actually watched it. So this is a really, really good ad. And the business owner, when we first met, Josh, what kind of clientele did the business owner say that he had?
Okay, in terms of clientele, he said he had a lot of Middle Eastern customers.
Yeah, and that's who he's dealing with now, but we ran a super precise targeted ad. And even though he's working with those kind of people now, what we are going to offer him is brand new traffic who may not fit that mold. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Let's find out. So go click on demographics right there in the middle part. And let's see what pops up. All right, so we did pull up the video views, and Josh did state that it was about even. It's about right. More women, though, did react to this, and we should pay attention to that. 10% more women reacted to this than men. So that's a strong indication. I would take note of that, and I would maybe use specific campaigns and then look at the women's side of data and see, okay, what exactly is going on over here? But right now, if you're just watching this for the first time, you're seeing a blue line and a green line. They're talking about reach and talking about 3-second video views. And it's like the cost per result. You don't really know what's going on. I'm going to break this down for you. So if you look on the top left-hand side of this little part, it says 1220 results, 3-second video views. Now, you see how that has that little arrow right there? Go ahead and click on that, Josh. And you can change the result to amount spent, impressions, reach, any of that. And you can show different metrics. But for right now, this is perfect. We want to show video views. So on the left-hand side where it has women, and I'm going to draw some stuff on here so we can make note of that. So right here in this section is what I'm going to focus on. I'm looking to see, okay, the blue means that people are actually watching. And the green means that that's whose Facebook is giving it to. So I know that Facebook is giving people 18 to 24 this ad a lot, but they're not really watching it. And I know that Facebook is giving this ad to 25 to 34-year-olds, and that's probably the biggest one that they're giving it to, and they're actually really watching that as well. But if you notice something, women right over here, I'm going to focus in a little bit more. Women right over here. I'm going to clear that. That was ugly. So right here, women 55 to 64 actually watched it way more than they were presented to. So that's actually a strong indication. And a lot of people say, well, old people aren't on Facebook. That's a freaking lie. Old people are on Facebook, and they're the fastest growing demographic on Facebook because guess what? All of us millennials are posting up our prom pictures, our graduation pictures, our first houses, our weddings, our first kids. And guess who is, and we all travel. We are a global society now. And everybody from the baby boomer generation is just stuck at home in suburbia with the white picket fence and not living that whole lifestyle. And they're stuck at home on their phones, keeping in touch with everybody. And that is a strong indication that women 55 to 64 really respond to this ad. So I would make a note of that, and I would even start a separate campaign specifically for that demographic that would highlight their pain points. And here's where we go back to our fundamentals. Do a psychoanalysis on them. What are their struggles? What are their outcomes? What is life like for them right now? I got all these grandkids. I don't want to cook. I'm old. I don't have the energy like I used to. I don't want to cook and then have to clean. These are all the problems that they're facing. And what we can do is we can poke or agitate their problems and say, hey, do you really want to cook today? Do you really want to clean today? Man, are you going to make lasagna again? Are you going to make meatloaf again? Really poke at that pain point and then offer them a solution and say, why not order a pizza? Why not, download our app? And that might be a strong campaign. And as you guys know, in our program, we always charge setup fees for every single campaign. So let's say we do have the business owner agree and consent to a baby boomer female ad. Well, that's $1,000 setup fee just to get that set up. And why is that a $1,000 setup fee? And how can you sell that properly? Well, you're going to have to spend about a half a day doing a psychoanalysis to say, okay, women in Australia, in this neighborhood, in this demographic, what are their challenges? What are their pain points? What are their problems? You want to get into their head. You might even join some Facebook group where older women are on there talking about feeding their grandkids. And you might even say, post on there on the Facebook group, hey, I'm a marketer and I'm doing an ad for a pizza shop. I want to know what kind of challenges you guys have when deciding what to feed your grandkids. And then stop talking and have them write the copy for you. And now your ad's being made by somebody else. But that work right there is the work that 99.9% of marketers won't do. And that's why they're giving away free trials. That's why they're doing, free social media audits. That's why they're charging $500 a month. We don't charge that. If you want to get paid the big bucks, and if you're in this program, you want to get paid the big bucks, this is how you get paid those big bucks, by doing these little things. So I wanted to make that a note of you guys. Another thing I wanted to note to you guys is look at the cost per result. It makes no difference on whether we are marketing to men or women. And I would let my business owner know that, look, men and women, I'm getting 3 cents per video view. Either way, it's a good investment. But check this out. Women at this age really, really enjoy this content. But let's go to the men's side. Let's show the men some love, just for example. And basically what I'm doing is I'm looking for wherever the blue line is bigger than the green line. Remember, the green line is a reach, how many people have been presented our ad, and the blue line is how many people actually watched it. So people who are men, 45 to 54, in that area are actually watching this a lot more than any of the other demographics. So that could be another separate $1,000 setup campaign. So you're doing $1,000 for the women 45 to 64, and you're doing another $1,000 campaign just to set up 45 to 54. And you do the same thing. You do a psychoanalysis. Okay, a middle-aged man at 45 to 54, guess what? He's got other problems. Maybe he doesn't take care of the kids. Maybe he's got to do all these other things. Maybe he's a bachelor. You don't know, and you want to have like very crafted messages towards that demographic. And that's where you bring your value to your customer, because you're not putting up a billboard on the side of the street. You're not putting an ad out on the newspaper. You're not putting an ad in the magazine for everybody to read. You're giving very, very specific calls to action to a very, very specific audience. So Josh, how do you feel about that? I mean, is this making sense? Do you have any questions about any of this information, or how to use that for your advantage?
No, everything you said definitely does make sense. And I can see how you're saying it can be very powerful for your client in terms of how you're explaining it to him. And I feel like his reaction is going to be, wow, this guy knows his stuff. So I think it's definitely a very powerful way to show your clients.
100%, 100%. And now I want to go on the flip side. This ad didn't perform so hot for quite a few people. By the way, before I go into that though, I do want to make note of this, just to really drive this point home. People 65 and up really dug this video. Again, I always want to look, where is the blue line bigger than the green line? And I mean, this is no competition. I mean, these two demographics right here just really like that. Now I want to do the flip. I want to find out, okay, where's the green line bigger than the blue line? And then right away, the teenagers, the Generation Z, these guys, they're really taking up a lot of our bandwidth for this ad, and they're not really taking action. So what this tells me, in order to optimize that particular ad, is I would actually bump up the age range to 25, maybe even 24, but I would cut out the teenagers on this particular ad. And that would be a way for you to optimize that. And that's the kind of value that you can bring towards your business. Because once they pay you this $1,000 to get this setup fee there, that your job isn't over. Like, the setup does require some maintenance. And part of setting up an ad and a campaign is to optimize it to where it is a winner. And now you can scale that. So just wanted to look at that for you guys right over there. Let's go ahead and I'm going to hit pause here for you guys, and Josh and I are going to do some talking and some theory and some concepts, and we'll be back with you guys here very shortly. All right, we are back, and now we're going to go over the actual performance of the ad. So this was a 1-week trial with a $5 budget per day. As you can see, we only spent $34.99 Australian dollars on this particular ad, and for that, we got in front of 3,400 people. So if you see right over here, our reach was 3,400 people. Now, reach means individual people that saw your ad. If these people from this 3,300 people saw this 5 times, the reach is still only this number. If they saw it 10 times, the reach is still only this number. What that means, if they saw it multiple times, is that it increases the impressions. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. If you go back to our first video where we were creating the ad, Facebook always asks you, what is your goal? Do you want website conversions? Do you want apps? Do you want apps to be delivered? What is your goal? And we told Facebook we want video views, and Facebook's like, all right, cool. You want video views? We're going to give you video views. So we gave Facebook $35, and Facebook gave us 1,200 video views. So they got us in front of 3,400 people. Of those 3,400 people, 1,200 people saw our videos. Our cost for that 3-second video view is 3 cents. So that was our cost for that. So it cost us 3 cents to show our video to very, very targeted traffic. And so you might be looking at this and saying, well, 3,000 or 3,400 people isn't a lot of people. I want you to imagine a room full of 3,400 people that are really interested in your product. And they're not really interested in your product. They're super interested in your product. And if you go back to our training video, and when we set up the ad, you could see how targeted that traffic was. Of those 3,400 people that saw that, that actually reached, only 1,200 people saw that. And you're going to see that metric be pretty universal. If you get in front of 10,000 people, you might get 4,000 to 6,000 people to actually see it. You know, there's just law of numbers. It could be more, it could be a little bit less, but that's it. Over here where it says REL, what is this one? Is this relevancy? Can you hit the I over that real quick? Is that relevancy? Yeah, relevant score. There you go. Perfect. So this is a rating from a 1 to 10 that estimates how good this is an ad. So this is great because the closer it is to 10, and we just only had a week for this with a small section, but the closer this is to 10, we'll actually say that the closer to 10, will actually make our ad cost go down, and it'll get our impressions and our reach up. So I'm going to say that again. If you are at a 10, your ad is going to cost you less money because it's very relevant, and Facebook only wants to show relevant scores or relevant ads to the relevant audiences. And the flip side, if your rating is like closer to 1, you're going to pay more to be on there, and you might get some negative reactions from Facebook or from the Facebook users. And Facebook might shut your ad down and say, hey, people aren't enjoying this ad, and we're going to shut it down. And that's something you want to avoid like the plague. So I'll keep going to the right just a little bit more. All right, and in this particular example, the video percentage right here, that's something we want to show our client. We want to let them know that 27% of people, or people watch 27% of this video on average. So we put a video out there, and people watch. You got to realize that people have a shorter attention span than a goldfish right now. And if you show them something where they're getting something like a 27 or 28% video percentage view rate, that's pretty good. The industry standard for ads is actually a little bit less than 10. My ads for me and my number is 20. So anything more than 20 is really, really good. And that's where I strive to be. But it just depends on the ad. You could have a really long ad. You could have a really long video. Like sometimes I'll do webinars that are like an hour and a half and people only watch 13 minutes of it. And my video percentage views like 3, but that's pretty good. So it's all subjective. But overall, if you have a shorter ad, less than 3 minutes, 20% or more is a strong number. So let's keep scrolling to the right. So there's a bunch of different stuff over here that Josh and I covered individually. I want to go over things very, very briefly, but you got to know every one of these. And just a pro tip, if you guys don't know what these numbers mean, just click on the little I and it'll tell you exactly what it means. So right now on this clicks right here, we had 97 clicks, which sounds cool, but that's not 97 clicks on our link or our call to action. That's 97 clicks to the ad. So it could be going to the page. It could be clicking like. It could be liking. It could be hearting, laughing, crying, being angry. It could be clicking on one of the links that we put up there. We don't know. So that's just a number that's good to know, but I wouldn't give that to our customer right away. I would just make note of that personally. So keep scrolling to the right. And we're passing up a few things like cost per engagement and whatnot. Here's one right here. These two. Where are we at? These two right here. So these two numbers these three are really important. So the 589, that is going to be the cost per 1,000 people. Is that reach or impressions? I think it's impressions, right? Yeah, impressions. So impressions means, remember back to the 3,300 people that saw our ad? Well, those are 33 people that saw it. That was our reach. But our impressions were, if let's say those 3,300 people saw our ad 3 times, our impressions were actually 10,000. So in order to let our customer know, hey, the cost to reach or the cost to have 1,000 impressions is about $6. So you basically tell the business owner, look, give me $6 and I'll get this in front of, so I'll get this on people's screens 1,000 times, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. But right next to that, the 1036, that's the cost per reach. And if you're like, look, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, if you give me $10, I will get us in front of 1,000 people. That is our reach. So hopefully that makes sense. And then over to the right where it says 1.63, is that per impression? Yeah. Okay. So this is the click-through rate, meaning how many times did people click on your actual ad that you had running. So from the people that had saw our ad, 1.63% actually clicked. So the rule of thumb in marketing is in advertising, anytime you do anything, it's like less than 3%. 3% is actually really, really, really high. The industry standard for any advertising or marketing is that less than 1% are going to do the desired result that you asked. And in this case, we actually are doing pretty high. We're doing about close to 2% on there. That's a really, really good ad. It's almost double the industry standard. So this is a really, really good ad. And this is, again, where we bring our value to our customer. If they're spending any money on magazines, newspapers, any of that stuff, it's just not going to work out for them. It's not going to work out for them. It's just that they can't measure that and they don't know if it's successful. So if you run into a business that is already spending money there, you might want to slap them on the head, not literally, but figuratively with actual figures and say, hey, dum-dum, you don't know where your money's going. People aren't looking at the billboard. They're looking at their phones. And I'm telling you exactly, when you give me money, I'll be able to report just like this. And even if the ad doesn't, knock it out of the park, they can at least start allocating their budget to work with you. And now you can start to run campaigns for them. And they're going to save money. They're going to be able to measure their marketing efforts and be able to securely track their ROI, return on investment. So that's where I really wanted you guys to check that out. So let's go ahead and scroll to the right just a little bit more. And I'm going through this, guys. Josh and I spent about, how long did we spend on this? Like an hour and a half together?
Yeah.
Yeah,
an hour and a half, that's for sure. Okay.
All right. Go to 7.40. Go. What was that? What is it? Okay, yeah, don't worry about that right now. All right, the 1.76, there you go. That's what I want to do. 1.76, go ahead and click on that. So that is the frequency. So for those of you guys who are putting out ads, the frequency basically states how many times did the person see your ad. So now we got to, you don't have to scroll, but right next to us is the impressions. So that's how many times our ad was shown. Not how many people, just how many times our ad was shown. So our ad was shown, if we go, you don't have to go back to our reach, but our reach was about 3,300 people. So of those 3,300 people that we reached, we had 6,000 impressions. So on average, or I'm sorry, the number, not on average, the number is the frequency of the people that saw, or people saw that ad 1.76 times. So they haven't seen it twice. Most of them haven't seen it twice, but some of them have seen it twice. And that's where you get that frequency up there. Any more than 2, it can go more than 2, but any more than 2 is kind of where people start to not pay attention to your ad, and you start to get fatigue, and then the ad performs a little bit lower. So if you start to see your numbers go down, come look at this number, this frequency rate, and either broaden your audience, maybe add some more interest, or do a new campaign and shut this off, and then add some new graphics, because that market has already seen that ad, and you need to do new ones. And that is where we get our long-term business. I hope you guys are staying with me, guys. This takes a lot, but once you bleed this ad out, because there's only like 100,000 people that live within 500 or 5 kilometers of this pizza shop in Sydney, Australia, that have all these interests, eventually they're going to be fatigued. They're going to see this ad over and over again, and they're going to just ignore it. It won't even exist to them. They'll just forget about it. And then at that point, Josh has to go over to the business owner and say, hey, what's going on? Our ad ran its life cycle. Use that term. Our ad ran its life cycle. The business owner's going to be like, what do you mean? I thought I was going to have this forever. I was like, you don't see the same polar bear Coca-Cola commercial every year, do you? You know? It's like, no, they always change it. Exactly. We got to do a new campaign. And this is where Josh goes to his business owners and says, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, it's time for a new campaign. This is my invoice for $1,000 new setup fee for this particular campaign. And let's go ahead and run another campaign. And if he saw the results from this, and if he sees the value in this, he has got no problem doing that. And, you know, that's a great way for you to keep a long-term business, keep cash flow coming your way, and to serve your business owner, because it is your duty to put the best ads out there. And if your ad is already fatigued, you don't want to just run it because it's going to be wasting his money. You want to let him know, hey, the ad ran its life cycle. We're ready for a new ad, and go from there. If he says no and they don't want to do that, say, well, we got to do something. I can't keep showing these people the same exact ad over and over again. Then you can start to add more and more interests, so people can start to so the fatigue will go down, and you'll get more and more people outside of the initial audience that we created. Does that make sense, Josh?
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Right there where it says PO, go ahead and click on I. Got you. So positive feedback. They're medium. You know, people are, this is like likes, comments, hearts, whatever. Go ahead and go to the N, the NE. Negative feedback. This is right here. So this is the number of times people hid your ad or chose not to see ads from you. Your ad's negative feedback level can be low, medium, or high. If your ad gets a lot of negative feedback, it means people have indicated that they don't want to see anymore. So we put a pretty obtrusive ad in people's phones, and we only marketed this on their phones. So I mean, we're kind of popping up there. So they're kind of letting us know that, hey, this is not what we wanted to see. You know, that number that should be a little bit lower. And if we get enough negative feedback from that, Facebook is actually going to shut that ad down. So just keep a heads up on that. So we do have to go back to the drawing board on this, but for restaurants, this is normal. Most people don't want to see ads from restaurants. It's just normal. So let's go ahead and scroll to the right just a little bit more. We're gonna skip over a lot of things here, guys. Josh and I spent a lot of time doing this, and he's in one of our programs. So I got no problem spending that time with them, but keep going a little bit more to the right. All right, go to the 943. So 943 is people taking action. And okay, so let's go let's go ahead and just think of our numbers real quick. So we had 3,300 people see or reached. We had, so of those 3,300 people, about a third of them actually took action. So 33% of your marketing efforts were realized from there. Now over to the 86, that's the unique, was it the unique clicks, right? Was it the unique click-through rate?
Uh,
Yeah, the unique clicks. Okay. So there's total clicks and there's unique clicks. If Josh and I click something 100 times, then Facebook would say, okay, we got 100 clicks. But if we really delved into the data like we're doing right now, the unique clicks would only say 2. So this is the number you're trying to look for. You don't want to look at the clicks. It depends on the campaign, on your goals, on your metrics. But for the most part, just to be safe, I would always start with this and then maybe talk to me if you have different campaign goals. But so we can see that 86 unique clicks went through, which means that 2.55% was our unique click-through rate. What does that mean? That means out of all the people that saw that, 2.5% actually, took action through that. So go to where it says 43. Okay, so that's the social clicks. We're not going to spend some time on that right now, but Josh and I did talk about that. Go ahead and keep scrolling to the right, please. Boom, right there, go to 21. So 21 is our magic number. We had 21 people click on our link on our Facebook ad. And for those of you guys who remember our ad, we had a link to download an application. And we use video views to get lower cost to get maximum exposure. So we had 21 people click on our link to download that app, which is pretty good for $5 a day. It's pretty dang good. So let's go and scroll to the right. I'm going to show you how good it is. Keep going. All right, stop right there. That 18. So the clicks that we had were 21, but the unique clicks were 18. So that's how many people, individual unique people, clicked on that link. It could be that one of these 18 people clicked on that link 4 times, and that's where we got that 21 number. But the real number of actual people that clicked on that link was 18, which leads us to our next stat all the way to the right, which means out of 3,300 people, only 18% of people clicked, which takes us back to our click-through rate, which we talked about earlier, which was at like 2% or something like that, whatever that number was. So just some real life numbers on there. Now here is the real number right there. Actually, no, that's not the real one, but I want to show them that. Go to 167 real quick. That's the cost per link click. Now that is including those 21, not the unique links, just total clicks. So that's not the number that we want to report to our business owner if we want to give them the actual data. Go ahead and scroll to the right just a little bit. And click on the 3. What is that? Is that the cost per video view for 3 seconds? No. So it's costing us 3 cents to get an engagement. I think it's costing us $3 to get a reaction. Is that it? Is that what that is? Yeah, $3 to get a reaction. There we go. These are the numbers we want. So go to the 3 cents. So here's where we start bringing down some numbers. So the cost per 3-second video view is 3 cents. It's costing us 3 cents to have people watch our video for about 3 seconds. Now, if you go back to our ad and we go to our when we get charged, or where we basically regain some power position from Facebook, what we did is we changed it from when we get charged from impressions to video views at 10 seconds. So that 3 cents, yeah, that's a good metric, but that's not the real cost for the business owner. And I'm going to go to that in just a bit, which is right over here. So Josh, can you go to this right over here? This is going to be the cost per 10-second video view. And that's the real life number. So real life number, it's costing us 10 cents for us to put this ad in front of people and for them to actually consume the content. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. So we're going to go over to this one right here, and this is 194. Now, this is the number that we want to report to our business owner. That is the cost per unique click. So remember how we went from 21 total clicks to 18 unique clicks? This is the actual cost to download the app. So I can, with full confidence, speak to our business owner and say, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, You wanted me to drive downloads to your application. I did that. How many times you say? I had 18 unique people click on that. We had 21 clicks on that. And the total cost for me to get that link clicked was less than $2. So we're getting their app downloaded for less than $2. Now that's great because for those of you guys who are running app install ads, app installs cost anywhere from like $3 to $7, just depending on the niche, to get installed, in my experience and in the experience of my colleagues. So just keep that in mind. You're coming in at half the cost to get those apps downloaded. So that's a great value add right there to your business owner. Now, scroll over to these. We're going to do the video watch. So this is really important, especially for retargeting. So that we had about 300 people watch the video all the way through, which is great. And remember, we had about, what was it, like 1,200 3-second video views, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So of those 1,200 3-second video views, only 300, or about 25% of them, watch the whole thing. And you're going to see that in almost every ad that you run when it comes to video views. It drops about half every single time, and every metric. And I'm going to explain that here in just a bit. So we had, of those 1,200 people, only 300 people watched it all the way. Let's go over here to this one, to 1152. Of those 1,200 people, 1,150 people watched 25% of that. So, okay, we're keeping most of them. But now let's jump over to the next one. And the next one is video watches at 50%. Now let's look at the numbers drop. So it went from 1,150 to 575. So almost half. Maybe half. I don't know. I'm not good with math. I think it's exactly half. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so go ahead and scroll to the right. So we lost half the audience right there. Now let's go over to that one. So we're going to 376. We're losing about 40% of the audience here to 75%. Let's go to the 95%. So we had about 300 people watch most of it. And this is kind of just a little caveat, a little nuance of our industry. So the reason they have 95% is because at the end of all videos, some people will say, have like the credits roll, or they'll have like, if you like this, like and comment, share, subscribe, follow my page. And most people don't sit around for that. My dogs. All right. Hey, sorry about that. I'm working from home with my dogs. I'm in my hometown, and my dogs are a little crazy because someone was at the door. We are back, and we were talking about video views. So like I was saying, people who watched 95% of or more of that, those are people who watched it but didn't sit around for the credits. So that's just where the numbers are. I want you guys to see that. You do lose people as the videos progress and progress. Go all the way to the right one more time, Josh. And there we go. Our 10-second video views was 338. So really, we only got charged for 338 views. So we got in front of all of these people. We got in front of 3,000 people. 1,200 people watched it, but we only got charged for 338 people. And that's the reason where the business owner wants to work with you, because if they had run this ad, they would have got charged by the impression by default, and our impressions were like in the 6,000, right? Go back to our impressions real quick. How much was our impressions? Like 5,972 or something like that? There you go, 5,941. Go to the right just a little bit more. There we go, right there. So normally when we were running that ad and Facebook says when you get charged, Facebook naturally wants to make more money. So they're going to charge you when you guys are getting impression. But if you just make that one little switch, instead of getting charged for those 6,000 impressions, go all the way to the right to the 10-second video views, all the way to the right. Instead of getting charged for those 6,000 peeps, you're only getting charged for 338 views. That is the value that you bring to your business owners, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why they must work with you. Not should, not it's a good idea. they must work with you. And for you to be able to charge these prices, you have to be able to show this kind of value to your business owner to let them know, look, you're a dumbass. You're a really good business owner, but you don't know shit about Facebook ads. Why do you want to handle your own marketing? Do you go to the dealership? Do you change your own oil? Do you fix your own engines? No, let professionals handle that. And this is the value that you bring to your business owner. So Josh, from there, do you value yourself and your capabilities more now than you did before?
100%. I feel like I can go to this business owner and he'd be like blown away, be like, wow, this kid knows what he's doing.
Exactly. Well, Josh, hey, thanks a lot, man. I'm going to stop this recording. You and I are going to talk a little bit more. But for everybody watching this, thank you so much. I don't think I'm putting this one out publicly because this is really, really good. And if you're watching this, you're probably in one of my courses or programs. So I really appreciate your support. And Josh is living proof that if you just put the work in, I'm going to be here for you. And we have the material just like this in order for you to be successful. So thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video.